Hello there, my very good friends. On this wrestling video, we are going to try and make sense of the new ratings landscape in wrestling. Is this doomsday? Is this the end?
Yes.
Probably not,
No.
but we're gonna dive into it anyway. I'm Russell Martin.
I'm Adam Wilborn.
And this is the news. What a shame. I was really enjoying the
Oh,
Russell
it's
Martin era.
too.
Shame it had to come to an end. Hope he gets the Hearts job next.
Ooh.
Anyway, let's talk about wrestling ratings, right? If you were paying attention to the numbers that came through last week, you'd notice they were garbage. Basically, Nielsen, who measure the ratings, their methodology has changed, and that has resulted in widely lower numbers for all wrestling shows, basically, that have been reported so far. Now, we don't have Raw, obviously, because it's on Netflix. You don't get Nielsen data for Netflix.
No.
We don't have a SmackDown number yet. It's not come through yet. I haven't seen it.
No.
But
They've all
Dynamite
been a bit delayed this week, or this past 7 days.
Yeah. AEW Dynamite was down 13%. It had the lowest rating in the show's history. NXT was also down 13%. Collision was down 5%. This is due to a methodology change, right? So WrestleNomics had a breakdown for laymen like me who don't really understand everything. Basically, here's how things have changed. So previously, Nielsen used something called a panel-only methodology. That means that they would take a sample of households who were metered, had like a Nielsen meter. Leslie Nielsen came into their house and installed this thing on the side of their TV. They then took that data from the sample, say like 2,000 households, and they extrapolated it throughout the country using percentages and things like that to get
some sort of equation.
Yeah, they did Pythagoras or something. Now, the new methodology is called Big Data and Panel.
I like the name.
Big Data.
Big Data.
Big Tuna. This claims improved accuracy, and it uses device-level data from set-top boxes and smart TVs.
Right.
So it's not just the 50,000 or however many people Nielsen households, and then that's multiplied up. It's from set-top boxes, smart TVs, things like that. Now, it was expected that the new methodology would lead to some higher numbers.
Some people are going to go up, some people are going to go down, yeah?
But wrestling is mostly lower so far.
We're a big old red line, aren't we?
Yeah, while some other shows measure high. So there's a little passage.
Has football gone up, I believe? Probably, it always does, doesn't
Hand
it?
egg. More accurate description, if anything.
Egg?
It's an egg. But there's a little section on the WrestleNomics report that says, for skeptics, does this entail that TV ratings are meaningless? Which has been a topic of discussion in the wake of these changes. Shall I read you what Brandon wrote?
Yeah, go on.
The first word is no.
Shout out to Brandon Person for working so hard on this for so many years.
I love it. While TV ratings have become harder to understand as the number of cable households has declined and entertainment options have gone up, viewership, and indeed the ranking of the viewership relative to programming generally, remains the most important metric in pro wrestling economics. The size of the audiences for WWE and AEW programs, even if those audiences are smaller than in prior years, is what allows major networks to justify paying hundreds of millions of dollars a year for those telecasts in an increasingly competitive media market. We should point out as well that TV rights fees are by far the biggest income for these companies. Yeah. Eclipse everything else, content right fees, if you will. So yeah, they are the most important KPI in wrestling. There is a Fightful report on this, but so it's not just me talking at you for 10 minutes. Hit me with some wisdom after everyone watching has signed up for NordVPN, brother. Description's not in the link. The link is in the description. 76% off up to 3 months for free when you sign up now. Click the thing. Anyway, do the thing.
Interesting and terrifying, this, isn't it? Because, like you say, we've sort of had a slow burn of this. I think, like, not last week, but the week before, there was a big confusion around, like, some figures came out for NXT, and then they went, no, I've read it here that they're this. Yeah. And then same thing happened for AEW, and I think that was the sort of transition period from the old system to the new system. We've got this, and it's real bad news for the likes of, well, AEW and NXT are the ones we've really noticed. The
SmackDown
the
will
drops,
probably...
and the SmackDown's going to be one that's going to be coming out, like you say, over the next 24 hours, you assume. But I don't anticipate it's going to be like, wow, SmackDown's actually got 12 million viewers.
Yeah.
It's looking like it's going a certain way for wrestling fans. Concerning, obviously, as you mentioned, because these are the things, especially the 18 to 49, are what advertisers are looking for. And I think there was read somewhere that there was concern that this may affect TNA trying to get a TV deal going forward.
We'll talk about that, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting as well. I will say I've got some element of experience with this in the past from the radio industry.
Ooh.
Now, they use a similar sort of metric, I think. I don't really look that much into it, but like a similar way of gauging listenership when they do their sort of quarterly. It's called RAJAR. They do their sort of quarterly reports of like, congratulations, 2 more million people are listening to The Breakfast Show.
I think Steve Martin does the... We got
Indeed.
Leslie Nielsen on TV, we got Steve Martin on radio.
Indeed.
There you go.
But yeah, there's always been sort of mixed emotions in the radio industry about getting this more accurate data, because like you say, you could do something similar surely now. If people have always got like DAB radios, you can go, well, instead of just asking, like you say, 10 people, who do you listen to? You can get a more accurate reading. However, that also means you get a more accurate reading of people not watching your show or listening to your radio show or whatever. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the whole industry adapts to this going forward and how advertisers react, because either they can take it as, like Dave said, maybe it's a bit of too much of a lurch in a certain direction. People go, that's not true, that's misjudged what we're doing here. Or they go, Jesus, we're way overpaying for this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And, gone are the days of these bumper TV deals that we've seen over recent years that have just helped the thing. I hope it's the former, because I don't want to think less people are watching wrestling, because it's the best, and I also don't want it to affect companies going forward, whether that be WWE, AEW, TNA, anyone else wanting to get a TV deal. Yeah,
it's at this very early stage. Seems kind of like bad news, for sure. Has the bubble burst? We will find out as time goes on. Fightful have a report here, and this is mostly concerned with like the backstage reaction to this change in methodology and the decline in numbers. Apparently every wrestling show, major wrestling show, has been discussing this backstage. Fightful asked around the industry with a bunch of different people, and it was pretty much confirmed that it's being monitored very heavily across WWE and AEW and other companies as well, although these are the only ones that really need to worry about it for the time being. One source in AEW said that Tony Khan is very aware of the changes, how they work, and he is adept at what they mean specifically.
They love their data.
They do love
AEW.
We love data. And with the AEW numbers, it's noted as well that the max viewership is not counted with Collision and Dynamite.
Of course, yeah.
When the Nielsen figures come out. But again, the actual viewership for Max is a total mystery. Nobody knows.
Depends who you ask online. There's a lot of experts out there.
Nobody knows. Yeah, there is. I like the one account. There's one troll account that I laugh at every week. That it's a blue check, because of course it is. It takes the Dynamite Nielsen rating and adds 500,000 it just adds it every
Dynamite
week.
did X, brilliant.
And there's people who fall for it and go, no, it didn't. it's funny.
Exactly 500,000 people are watching on Max.
Yeah. He adds it every week.
It's going to be very interesting to see where this goes next. Here's a question.
Yeah.
It's call me stupid, but what's stopping, if this is based on people's set-top boxes or whatever they're called nowadays?
Big data.
Yeah. Why can't you just pay some people to always have it watching the show?
Pay some...
everyone in the company, before you fly to TV, make sure your telly is on the right channel to watch this.
Pay some
Is that a
stands.
thing?
I don't know. It might be. Hey, I mean, our paycheck...
Or just buy loads of set-top boxes, actually, and just keep them at TV.
Yeah.
When they walk past and Gorilla, instead of one screen, it's 500 all watching Raw or whatever. No, that wouldn't count. It's on Netflix.
Yeah,
Wrong
why
show.
not? Might rack up a bit of an electricity bill doing that.
It's fine. Just charge it to the venue.
Yeah.
Do you have to, how does that work, actually? I'm getting off topic.
I don't know. So the Fightful also spoke to like sources in USA Network and Warner Brothers and carriers for wrestling promotions. No discussion of cancellation. It's 1 week, right?
Yeah.
The Warner Brother Discovery person was like, it's too small a sample size to judge everything. And the WBD source actually laughed about the idea of cancellation, because they're like, the idea that this is constantly brought up is funny to them, presumably. They didn't hear back from a CW rep regarding NXT. However, the consensus before the change was that they're pretty happy with NXT in general. They asked...
Did what, 500, 600k, I think?
Yeah, it's solid. It's like easily that network's best thing, especially on a Tuesday night. They asked some talent if they'd noticed any changes. They said that they feel like they've been reminded of adjustments more often recently, but not, like time adjustments, more of late than recently. And they both had inconsistent nights with regards to their schedules. Now, the TNA thing is quite interesting. I'm just going to read this paragraph here. One WWE production source expressed concern that the new numbers and data could be used to negotiate against TNA as they try to land a new television deal. We reached out to TNA's Carlos Silva on that, and he said that such a thing hasn't even been brought up to TNA during negotiations, and that they have an important call this week to keep the wheels on their potential upcoming deal going. So yeah, like, TNA is trying to land a TV deal. The thing about TNA landing a TV deal is, right, if they get a deal that's worth £5 a year, that's better than the current deal, which earns them nothing.
Exactly.
Their current TV deal is owned by the parent company, Anthem, so they don't earn any money off of it. Therefore, if TNA go into the negotiating table and say they come away with, I don't know, $10 million a year.
Yeah. I've read somewhere that CW might be interested, but that might be a load of bollocks.
It might be.
Just online.
It might be. So, yeah, I mean, it could potentially hurt all wrestling companies' negotiating power if they can't go to the table and go, hey, look at these numbers. Oh, they're actually 20% less than they were before, or whatever. That obviously hurts them a little bit. TNA is the one that's in the conversation right now because they are actively negotiating. Yes. WWE just signed $500 billion ESPN, Disney, flipping Netflix.
They go nowhere.
Yeah, AEW's got a couple more years before their deal with Warner is up. So, yeah, it's an interesting time, potentially worrying time, but definitely too early to be saying these shows are all getting cancelled.
I'm conflicted on this as well because this is a story that will run and run, and we will no doubt talk about it a lot more as more details come out and more ratings come out. On the flip side of that, that means we have to go online and read more about other people's opinions on ratings. And good news, everyone, there's a Tuesday Night War this week, so I'm sure that is going to be sensational.
Yeah, baby, that's going to be a fun one. I'm going to have to think about how we broach that one in the morning. But yeah, fun stuff across the board.
Yeah.
It's wild. Look, it's an important business story in wrestling and shaping the landscape. Not everyone's into this kind of thing, but hey, I am, so that's why we report it.
And just remember, if you enjoy what you watch, ratings don't affect you. Until it comes to the point where your show is cancelled, which hopefully never happens, whether you and one other person in the world watch this show or you and 2 billion doesn't affect your enjoyment of the show. Just always remember that.
This is it. We spoke about The Rock's Smashing Machine earlier on, and it's made $5 million, $6 million?
6 million, yeah.
At the box office. If you enjoyed it, doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. To you personally as a fan and your enjoyment levels. I would rather listen, like just high numbers don't mean good all the time, right? Do you think that Avatar is the best movie of all time because it has the highest box office?
No, it's Mission Impossible.
Yeah, well, Mission Impossible 2 specifically. It is the most streamed artist on Spotify. I don't know, probably Taylor Swift.
Yeah, probably.
Is she the best artist of all time?
No.
These things, like wrestling, some wrestling fans have this thing in their head to where the best show is the one that has the high... You're artistically bankrupt if you think that. Yeah, if you think that way. That is a miserable way to go through life. Enjoy what you like.
And yeah, aside from, like you say, the concern about these companies being affected, either still running shows and get cancelled, which is not going to happen anytime soon, don't worry about that, but having the money to develop and improve the product, that's important. Yeah. Other than that, your favourite wrestling company making money does not affect you either.
Yeah, unless you're a stockholder.
Unless you're a stockholder.
Yeah, in which case, fill your boots, I guess. Right, cool. We will be back tomorrow. Tonight there's a big AEW list going up.
Ooh.
It's like half an hour long, man.
What?
Sick. Great work. Check out on your screen right now. Pimped it earlier. Here's a big fat TNA list for your ears and your eyes.
And your face.
And your nose. Stick up your nose. Go on.
Bye.
See you later. Bye. 50% of our audience is TV now, actually. Sticking that up your nose would be tough. Unless you go to little television.
Oh.
Bye.